Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Alphacraft. So today, what we are going to be working on, I've been doing some slight build testing just to get some ideas. I just wanted to test and make sure that nothing would melt and stuff. Today we are going to be working on our Nether Tunnel. And the tricky part is we have to run this bit out to here, right? This will be where the main tunnel runs down the south section. So we have to run our tunnel over to our portal. Then, once we get all that ran, we need to run a tunnel to the end portal. Sort of. I'm going to start this. I'm not going to be able to finish it until we actually visit the end. But I'll be able to start it. And then we have to run a tunnel to the Guardian farm. That's really, really far down there. So, we're going to have, I've already decided on what my first design is going to be, but things are going to slightly change as we enter the end tunnel section and as we enter the Guardian farm section. So, it's a massive, massive project. I have been farming up snow. I've been farming up ice. I will have to farm up some other things like sand and some wood and stuff and some leaves because we're going to do our tunnel of course, matching our theme for our build is the plan. At least this section. And then the Guardian tunnel is going to kind of match Guardian type, undersea type feel. Or sort of. I mean, we can't place water in the Nether, of course, but just like Prismarine stuff, you know. And then this side's going to kind of be more end style, right? So, to start out, I'm going to start running the tunnel basically to here for now, and then we can make the little bits that come off of it. And what I have to do to start with, I have to dig out an 11 wide section. So, like this is the first block, and so we're going to have to come out, and there's 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to have to dig basically from there all the way to there. We're going to have to clear out all this netherrack. And then we have to dig down 2 blocks, and there's got to be a netherrack there at the bottom as well. It's got to be, basically the rules for the tunnels are they have to be at least a 3 wide, 3 tall tunnel with netherrack topped with snow, topped with ice for the floor. Everything else, it doesn't matter as long as A, no mobs can spawn, B, there's no bits hanging down. You know, it has to be a 3 wide. I mean, this has to be the interior section so that we can take boats through here, and then later on we can fly elytras through here once we go to the end. That's the only real rules are those things. So, oh, yeah, and mobs can't spawn, so we can't have any, like, full blocks, and if we do, they have to have, like, pressure plates or carpet or, you know, whatever on them. No blocks that can spawn mobs on them. But we can use, like, half slabs and stuff like that, which we will be doing. Like I said, the very first thing we have to do is we have to dig out all this netherrack, and then basically I need to dig out the floor so that we can put the snow and the ice on there. And then I have to dig 4 more higher than this. So I've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up to there. So all this netherrack has to be cleared out. So I will be back in a while once I get all this stuff cleared out, and we'll move on to the next part. Okay, I just about ran through this pick. I've got to go mend it back up. And I started running through this one, and I filled up a bunch of netherrack and a bunch of netherrack. So, on the plus side, though, we are ready to start placing out the snow. So what we're going to do is pop on in here. This is what it looks like. We've got this huge tunnel. Huge tunnel, but I wanted to go ahead and clear all this first just in case, you know, there's lava behind the walls or something like that when we start building this so everything doesn't get destroyed. So, what we're going to do first and foremost is actually just run out snow 3 wide all the way to the far end, and then once we reach the far end we need to go left and right because that's going to be the main tunnel, so I might as well just go ahead and plug into that. Okay, I got all of our snow ran. So I got all of this stuff ran. Then I went ahead and ran snow on the sides. Since we're going to have ice, you'll be able to see that on the edges. You won't be able to see the tops of it, but you will be able to see that on the edges. And I decided the end portal, it's not going to be exactly linked, but it's going to work a whole lot better if I just shift it over like a couple blocks. There's nothing else nearby that would have a nether portal. So it's not going to hurt anything. It's still going to be the closest portal, and it should all still work good. you know, there's no other bases near me, and, you know, I think it's going to be okay. All it is a big plains area there. Uh, but over here, I've just got this ran to here is all I've got at the moment, but that's fine. We're going to be working on this here soon and running this and connecting it up to the spawn hub. Probably later this episode. This episode is going to take a massive, massive amount of resources. It's going to be painful. But I want to go ahead and at least get the groundwork done so that we can all, me and JJ and Wild and K1, which are the residents of the South Tunnel, we can figure out a style for our main tunnel, get that sorted, and then, yeah, and then take off with it. So, next up, what we're going to do is, of course, the ice is going to be sitting there. We're actually going to have slabs ran down along this. We're going to go ahead and run some spruce wood up to here. It's going to be 2 blocks from where we dug out the ceiling. So it's like 4 blocks high. 5. Good. Good, 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 good. Actually, though, let me think. I don't actually need the bits there, though. On the edges. So let me just pop up here. I think that's right. And then, because then we would have, we'd have this come over, and I'm actually going to have lanterns hanging up there. 2, 3. I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And then we'll bring this over, and then bring this down. And I went ahead and set these little things up. And basically it's 5 blocks between each of these that we're running. And you'll notice I did clear out, I mean, I didn't technically have to clear out every single inch of this, but it's fine. We're gonna use most of the space. There will be a little bit on the corners there that's not used, but I'm probably gonna fill that back in with something, maybe netherrack or something, and just so that way no mobs can spawn, just so we don't have to hear zombie pigmen. And we'll just start running this out. And you're probably wondering, like, what in the world are you doing? Why do you have all this wood in the nether? It'll make sense, I promise. So I have to run this all the way down to the end, basically. I'm not going to go quite to the end, because I'm actually going to have this, instead of it being like a 3-wide opening or a 5-wide opening, we're actually going to have this kind of like split open. So it's going to be almost kind of rounded, and it's going to work with our style. But it comes to right here is where it comes to. So, let me finish bringing all this out, and I will be back in just a bit. Okay, so that's what we're up to at the moment. Is this pathway here with this framing. I know it kind of looks like a mine right now, but it'll look better, I promise. And so next up, what we have to do a couple things. I'm just going to do all these in one cut. We need to bring ice out like this. Oh, and by the way, I had to shift this up. I had it only 4 tall. It needs to be 5 tall. Because I knew it didn't feel right. It felt too short. So I had to shift it up 1 more. So it's 5 tall, and then the beams are right above that with the lanterns hanging down. So the lanterns are going to be 5 blocks, above the ice, basically. So that way they don't melt it, because at 4 they actually melt the blocks directly beneath them. So we need to do that. I also need to go through, and I need to run slabs down through here, down this snow, like that, and all the way down. And then I also need to get our dark oak, and then our dark oak planks, they need to come out here and basically go, all the way down, and they can skip a block and then continue downwards, and then right here, and then let me actually pull this up, move it over to there. Then I also have to run dark oak planks back here. And I also have to run them here and there. It's actually a lot I got to do during this cut. A lot of resources. But that's okay. It's going to look pretty cool once we're done, I think. And it's going to kind of match up with our base, And that's the most important bit. And I still got to go up 1 more. And then I've also got to run dark oak like this. And this is on both sides. Massive, massive amount of dark oak that I've got to run here. And then all the way across like that. So once I'm done, I should have that. And I've got to run spruce down through here as well, because I don't have any spruce there at the moment. So dark oak like that. So we're kind of, it's going to look like a mine actually for a minute. And then I have to, I've got to get all the way up here. And I've got to run dark oak. I've got to run dark oak along like this. All the way around each segment. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to have to farm up more dark oak for sure. Okay, I've got... that's actually fine. Actually, I didn't see any bedrock all the way down the tunnel. So that's okay. And then what we have to do is run dark oak here as well. Which this actually isn't going to be very visible, but just because it's slightly visible, we have to do all that. So, and like I said, I have to do that on both sides. So, basically just frame all the back ends with dark oak. So dark oak, dark oak, dark oak, all the way down. And then spruce down through here. Slabs, ice. So I'll be back in a while. It's probably going to take me an hour, 2 hours, something like that. But I'll get it all done. So I'll be back in a while. Okay, so here's where we're at now. So I went ahead and shaped up this little section, and then we've got our mine shaft little area. It's not going to be so bland. I don't think. Hopefully not. So now what we need to do is we basically, through these little wood sections, we need to bring out, say, like some wood. I don't know if I'm going to do bits right there or not. Maybe. Or maybe on some of them. But what we have to do is bring out bits of this. This is oak wood. And like oak wood. It's not logs. And basically this needs to come through and kind of be like almost like a root system that's kind of running out. Is kind of what I'm thinking. And then we can, like maybe it comes up here and wraps through and it comes out right here, and then maybe it continues on down. And I'm probably going to have little bits of root that come off and all that stuff, so I've got to run, I just don't want too much wood on this. So I'm going to run this all the way down, and I've got some more oak wood if I need it. I'm sure I will. I've used so many materials so far. This is so much dark oak wood and spruce wood and just, yeah. And I also made sure that the top and bottom sections cannot spawn mobs either. So we shouldn't hear any zombie pigmen down our tunnel, hopefully. I actually think I like having the little corner bits there. So anyways, I'll be back in just a bit once I get all this stuff ran through. Okay, I got the wood all ran, so you can see we've kind of got like this root system that's kind of running through here, just kind of wild and crazy, and I've got little bits that hang off, making sure to leave my 3x3 down the center through here, but just kind of adding a little bit of character to it. I don't want too much stuff hanging out so that it blocks it, you know, blocks out the area a lot, but I kind of want just a little bit of stuff. As long as we still keep our space so that everybody can move through here, I think we're okay. And so now what we have to do, let's head back to this end. We have a couple things that we've got to do here. We have to go through and we have to basically place out leaves. Like that. Okay. And then, oh. Okay, like that. And then what we're going to have to do is we have to get a bunch of light blue stained glass, and I've got to make a bunch of panes as well. And what we're going to have to do is come through and do light blue stained glass up through here. Okay, so I got the blue glass and the blue glass panes ran all the way down. So just blue glass on the top, panes on the side. It actually took a little bit because I realized I forgot my sea lanterns. So I stuck sea lanterns in the center on tops and sides. And you can see I did a little bit during this cut because I wasn't really in a situation where I could record. But what I did was all... Basically, you could tell where it was leading to, I think, maybe. So sea lanterns in the middle. That way they just add a little bit of light, and you can actually see the leaves a little bit better and see the roots a little bit better. But then all the little bits of wood, I went ahead and brought out leaves coming off of these. And then I also brought out just a little bit extra because it didn't feel like it was enough, you know. And I love the way these oak leaves look in the nether. Because they kind of take on this, like, golden look. And... I mean, that's it for this tunnel. I'm probably going to add just a couple banners. Maybe, actually. I don't really have a lot of space for... originally, I was thinking the banners on the side. I may add them down here at the end, down towards the portal, and then add some on this end. Now, once we link up the portal, because the idea is, like, it's just like... we can't contain it, you know? It's just, like, busting through this glass. All this, like, nature. Originally, I was thinking about something a little bit more with, like, grass and stuff like that, but I figured, that's kind of plain, you know? It would be kind of expected, and this kind of feels like, you know, because remember, we're going to come out underneath that giant tree. So that's kind of the plan with this, or the direction that we're taking with this. And just something a little bit different. So you can actually look, if you stop and you take a look down in the glass, and up there, you can see the root systems running through here and all these just like all this growth that's going on. And then in spots, it's starting to bust through the glass. And then actually right here, of course, this will be the main tunnel that runs through here. I've left a little bit of space, so the main tunnel will be running right there. And then, you know, maybe something on the side. So what I'm going to have is on this end, I'm going to have it so like bits of the wood and stuff have come through and they've like busted through the glass. And there's just like lots of growth. Just exposed growth out here. So, that's the plan anyways. But I kind of have to wait on that until we get the actual south tunnel ran. Because, you know, that's going to help a lot. And then I've started running the snow out along through here. This is going to take a massive, massive amount of snow. It's terrible. Let me go ahead and just drop some lanterns down. Just so you guys can see easier. But I've started running the snow. I need probably another, I don't know, maybe 10 stacks or something. I don't know. It's a bunch. Wild hit 100 deaths. Yay! My ping is terrible right now. I don't know why, because I'm not really doing anything. I think my internet's just acting up this morning. So we had an outage like yesterday though, so it's maybe something to do with that. But anyways, I'm going to cut for a while. I have to run basically this style. You know, it's not really a pattern because it's different there. It's different on the leaves. It's different on this bit. But this style, I have to run this down. I have to turn it and bring it down this side. And then turn it and bring it down this side. And basically, we're going to run it just a little ways. And then it's going to start converting over to the Guardian Temple style, which is a little bit different. And I hope you guys like the Guardian Temple style. It took me a little while, but I think I figured out what I want to do. But on that note, I'll be back in a while. I have to run all that snow and all that everything. Break that. Trust it. And yeah, and I hope you like where this is going anyways. So I'll be back in a bit. Oh, this is taking so long, and I'm nowhere near done. So I did add stairs here, just to kind of shape this up a little bit. I mean, it's nothing overly fancy, but it's kind of got like a little bit of a, I don't know, regality to it, you know. Which I like it. I like it. I'm pretty happy with it. Just the blue kind of goes with the ice, and, you know, it kind of matches all the way around. And, I don't know, it feels like alive almost. And these golden leaves, I love these. And, you know, there's kind of bits of overgrowth. Kind of lining up with the overall feel of our base is kind of what I'm wanting from this, and I do think I like it. I mean, it's rather square, rather simple, rather expensive, but I did discover that the dark oak behind this I don't actually necessarily need. So moving forward, I'm not putting dark oak behind those segments. I'm just going to put the wood and the leaves and the sea lanterns, and that should be good, I think. Now I have ran pretty much all the snow except this little stretch here, okay, that goes on the wall there. I have currently went through 63 shovels, 63 iron shovels. And I went over, and K1 was nice enough to let me use his like little snowman setup, so I didn't have to make one of my own. And so that has definitely sped things up. I did run snow all the way over to K1's section that's over here. And then I have ran snow all the way up to JJ and Wild's portal at present. And I also went ahead and dug out where the snow needs to go all the way over to spawn. I'll show you how much netherrack I've farmed. I'm just at the point where I've got to take a break and do something else because this is mentally draining me. You know, I've spent a couple days working on this. So I've dug out all this, basically, so we can put the snow in the snow. I'm going to go later, probably later today, farm up the rest of the snow that we need to get the snow ran to spawn. So the snow will be down. And that way we can figure out a design for this main tunnel, implement it, and, you know, and then just do it, you know, and be done with it pretty quick. So, if we continue on back over here, I did shift the nether portal over so it lines up with this pathway, just a couple blocks off of where it's actually linked to, but it's perfectly fine. It still works and everything. And at one point I had thought about just not having this glass and just kind of having the leaves exposed, but I don't know, it just doesn't look as good, I think. I think having that glass just adds that like splash of color along the walls, and if you take the time and you look, you can see it. But like I said, just going with just leaves and wood all the way down through here, maybe it makes a little bit more sense, but it just doesn't look as good, and it's just kind of boring, you know. And just adding that little bit of glass, it does make everything a little bit more interesting, I think, in my opinion. Now down through here, I have started running all this, and I'm basically ready on these wall sections to start running the wood and the leaves, and then fill in the top. I'll probably start with the top. I mean, I did go ahead and run the ice. I'm just kind of being careful through these sections, making sure there's no lava. And then down through here, I have ran wood every 5 blocks for so far. Basically, as far as it's going to go, I have done that. Let me run to the end here. And by the way, 63 iron shovels comes out to about 63 stacks of snow. I've noticed I can get about almost a stack of snow per shovel. This has been a massive, massive amount. Even with a snowman setup, this is a ton of snow. But I've come this far just so that that corner is out of sight. And then the rest of this is actually going to be the Guardian farm section, which is super, super far. And basically what we're going to be doing with the Guardian farm line here, and you can see down there the Guardian, that's the Guardian farm portal, and you can see that the snow is ran all the way up to that. This part took forever because 5 lines of snow, basically 2 for the walls and 3 for the floor. That is a ton of snow. It's an absolute ton of snow. And a ton of digging, and a ton of mending, and just a ton of a lot of things. You notice I'm level 55 right now. I've pretty much stopped enchanting because I was mending so much on things. And then I've just recently been farming up a bunch more spruce because I ran out of spruce and dark oak, and I actually ran out of pretty much all my wood. The last little bits I used trying to make shovels, or making lots of shovels. And yeah, this is just, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Running, I mean, if we had just ran my portal line, that's not that bad. You know, we knocked that out in, you know, a couple hours. But it's all the rest of this, and the mass amount of clearing and snow and resource and just everything. And my idea for the Guardian farm is actually to do, I never personally played the Minecraft story mode, but I saw some pictures or concept art or something from it that had these, like, they almost look like Cthulhu statues, you know, with like the octopus type face, you know, going on, or the tentacle face. And I've decided I'm going to do some statues like that, not a massive amount of them, but I'm going to make this big, like, open space back in behind the that pathway. So that pathway is going to take a while. What I'm probably going to do is just steadily work towards it. Hopefully start working on that pathway by the end of the week is my goal, but I want to finish out this section which I've done most of the clearing, to be fair. I've done a lot of the farming that I need to do. I should have enough spruce wood. I have to farm some more dark oak. And then I've also made up some more glass. I'll probably have to make up some more by the time it's done. And I've got to go harvest more leaves. And oak wood and stuff. But if you want to see how much stuff I've mined up out of here, and you can see I've killed zombie pygmy. And then there's more. And there's a bit more. This was a lot of like resource type chest. And then over here, more netherrack, and more netherrack. So, as you can tell, I have been just mining and grinding and mining and grinding a ton. Like I said, this has taken a while. So I'm actually at the point where I just want to get out of the nether for a little bit. Even if it's just an episode or two, just escape the nether. I mean, it's a big enough section we could classify that kind of as a mega build. I mean, it's just a ton of stuff that's got to be done down through there. But on the plus side, I have lots of netherrack, which I can smelt for lots of nether brick and make lots of nether bricks with it and stuff. So, that's a plus. That's a plus. But it's taking forever. It's taking absolutely forever. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to end out this episode here. Next episode, we are actually going to start on a different project. Like I said, we have a couple projects that we need to finish out before we start moving on to the next segment of the main base. Now, it seems like most everybody seems to want to go to the Druid Enclave / Lunar Citadel areas. So I think that's where we're going to head to. Maybe starting with the Druid Enclave and working our way up to the Lunar Citadel, I think is what we will probably do. Not next episode, though. Like I said, we have a few things that we want to do before we get to that. I've got some collab building I want to work on. And that's one reason I kind of want to get out of the nether for a bit. Maybe go do some collab building. Hopefully, which it'll be a little while before those episodes come out, but just a heads up. But I do think that as far as the upcoming episodes, what we're going to be working on, what you guys will be seeing, will be, I think next, we're either going to start the mine or we're going to start the warehouse. Now, there are some similarities between the two, and we'll get into those probably in the next episode, I imagine. So, but because I'm mining up all this netherrack, I don't really have any place to put it, and I already need like dense storage for netherrack, it feels like. So I think that we're going to start into that. No, well, whatever. That's fine, I don't care. At least it's not a building. They get me on those places where I can't actually knock them back, you know. But I think that's what we're going to start on in the next episode. We're starting into some really large-scale builds, and they do take a lot of time. So we'll kind of be hopping between them, because otherwise I will die on the inside. Especially that Nether Tunnel. It's just so much work. I will continue working on those a little bit at a time, but I've literally spent like 2 days working on them, and I'm worn out. I am worn out. So we're gonna shift focus for a little bit. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like the design. Like I said, it's nothing like overly fancy. I mean, you know, it's not something that we're going to go through and like add a bunch of decor to, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. It's basically just, you know, I kind of want it to feel like you're beneath a tree and still have some class to it, you know, and the idea is that the you know, the elves have built up these walls because, you know, at this point, certain areas of the base are getting, like this area is pretty manageable, but certain areas, which we'll get into some of those later, I have some really cool builds in mind for those. Actually, especially along the road, like JJ and Wilds, you're going to see some places in some of the upcoming builds where the nature is actually getting so intense that it's hard for them to contain it. And so that's kind of the idea here, is that they've built up this glass and these walls to try to contain it so they can still move through this area, but it's starting to kind of bust through and go kind of crazy on us. So that's kind of the idea with this. So that's why some of the glass is busted, and then especially down here on this end, this will be like really, really busted out, and then leaves coming out of that. So, but yeah. So anyways, long recording process for this episode. May not seem like a lot, but it is a whole lot of work. Oh my gosh. So like this is honestly worse than building the entire guardian farm up to where we've got it to so far. It's pretty rough. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. We'll continue this at a later date in an upcoming episode. Of course, this is probably going to be like a 2-part process because we have so many tunnels to run, but it's also getting close to wrapping up point. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.